Right, don't know if you've heard, but I'm technically a Juve Ultra now. Yeah, obviously not. I've been to a grand total of 2 Juventus games, or maybe no, 3. I've seen Juve play Chelsea before. 3 Juventus games. Obviously, I'm a certified fan now, aren't I? But anyway, it gave me an idea to kickstart a new series on this channel. Something I've done before, but something I wanted to bring to this JTFC channel, and that is ranking every single home shirt. And today, it's the Juventus edition. Yeah, I just love ranking football kits, obviously. That's what we do on this channel. So bringing this series to this channel is a big win for me, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. I've got the tier list here in front of me. We've got GOAT at the top. That's going to be the best of the best Juve home shirts. I've got Noise underneath that, and that's, you know, all the solid, good kits there. I shouldn't use the word solid because solid is the next tier, the middle tier. You know, just the solid. They're a bit basic maybe, but they do the job. They're good kits, so that's solid. Below that, we've got meh, the ones that just don't make you feel anything. They're just like, I guess I'll put them there. And then right at the bottom, we've got awful. And there's a few of them. Trust me, there's a few of them. We'll get to that. But let's do it. Let's jump into it. And obviously, when I say every football kit, don't have, you know, the mental capacity to rate every Juve home shirt ever. And I feel like that would be a boring video. So I'm going to start in the 90s. I'm going to start with 1990, 1992 shirt. This one right here. And it's nice, isn't it? It's classic. It's Kappa, you know, Kappa and Juve had a great partnership back in the day. Thin black and white stripes. The only thing that lets this one down is that wide collar. It's a wide ass collar, this one. Bit too rogue for me. But it's still a beautiful kit, so I'll throw it in Noise. Right, up next we've got 1992. So they changed their sponsor to Danone and they tightened up that collar, which makes this kit just so much better because it's not too much different from the one before. But that tighter collar, different sponsor, just turns this into beauty. And actually, I wore this one to Turin, the game that I went to see there. So like, this has a little special place in my heart as well. Also, you know, this is the thing, when you have kits like you've seen them in real life, you can see a little bit more of the details. This one has some really, really nice subtle kind of triangular square details in the base. This kit is a go for me. This is one of Juve's best easily. Right up next, we've got 1994, and again, another polo collar change. This one's gone from kind of the tight one to, they've really changed it up here. They've actually added the Juve badge in the collar. Something's really cool. Kappa did this in the 90s with a few clubs. It's just so unique. It's so cool. And I think the fact that they had those bits of trims, like the black bit on the end and the white and black kind of stripe with the badge in there, it's a beauty collar. I love it. The Danone sponsor ruins this one a little bit. That blue, mate, if they just kept it black and just the type, it would have been really, really nice. They ruins it ever so slightly there, doesn't it? But either way, it's a great kit. I'm going to throw it in Noise. I think the sponsor just lets it down ever so slightly. I have to say, though, just one of my favourite memories ever was when I interviewed Jari Litmanen, and he had this like unreal collection of football shirts, like the best football shirts you've ever seen, all match worn from players that he played against. One of the shirts he had was a Juventus Vialli shirt, like from the Champions League that he'd played with, and obviously being a Chelsea fan and / Juve fan now, like that Vialli thing, it's amazing. Like what a player he was, what an icon he was for both clubs, and holding that shirt was it was magical. It really was. I just had to throw that in there. I just had to. I have to talk about it any given moment I can. I will. Right, next up, 1995 to 97, same kit basically, the exact same kit, different sponsor though. Sony have come in and changed the game because Sony's such a cool sponsor, isn't it? It's just so much nicer. Like the logo looks really well. We all know what Sony is. It just works so well in the 90s. Also, Juve, obviously in this time period, winning everything, adding the Scudetto and the Coppa Italia badges onto the kit, giving it that little bit of like prestige. This is GOAT. This takes that kit to the next level. Right next up, 97, 98, and they went different with this one. They went much different. I think they started to experiment a little bit with different kind of stripes, and I think, you know, there's different pipings in here, like that stop stripes in certain places. On the sleeve, there's kind of like a circular stripe that goes up and down, and the collar is wide again. And I just think, yeah, you're losing me a little bit here, Kappa. You've lost me ever so slightly. This isn't really what I like to see in a Kappa Juve kit. I think there's something about this kit that just feels a little bit off for me. It's not bad by any means, but yeah, it isn't as nice as the ones we've already seen in this video. So I'll throw this in solid. But fear not, because Kappa know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and in 1999 they bring out this beauty of a kit. It's just classic Kappa, this, isn't it? They got the logo coming down the sleeves, which is always a great look. I want to see it every time I see a Kappa kit. The collar's not as wide or crazy. It's still a bit wide, to be fair, but it's not too mad. They got nice thin stripes again. The sponsor doesn't get in the way. It's just black and white. Yeah, beauty. When I say beauty, I feel like I sound Australian. Beauty, mate. No, don't do that. This shirt is going in goat. I can't help it. We're off to a pretty strong start here, to be fair. Juve, obviously, in the 90s, killing it with their kits. But no more Kappa, unfortunately. We've moved to Lotto. But this shirt is a bit weird. Look, it's obviously Lotto, but the Click Web is the sponsor here. Like, you don't really see the Lotto anywhere. I don't know what Click Web are, but they took over this kit. They put their branding everywhere. And, yeah, it just doesn't work. It just is a bit meh. Again, it doesn't look terrible, but for me, it's just not doing enough, so I'll put it in meh. But then when you talk about Lotto and Juventus, this partnership in 2001, oh my God. I think Lotto are a bit underrated, to be honest. I just think sometimes, myself, I'll forget how good Lotto were in the 90s, obviously, especially for Italian clubs. And this shirt, oh, it's special. Just classic solid stripes, but then the collar really works for me here. They've got the little bits of trims working really well, the overlaps. And then that splash of red from the Lotto, you know, it's so simple. It's just that patch on the side, big bit of red coming through. Just works really nicely. I don't think it's quite a goat kit, or is it? If it's telling me it isn't, I'm going to put it in goat. Why not? Up next to 2002, Lotto changed it again. So I feel like the last 5 or 6 kits we've all looked at have always had a polo collar. They've all kind of had similar stripes. They changed it up here. They had it a nice circular framing in this. So there's a lot more black on this kit. So there's like piping, circular framing for those central stripes and on the sleeves. And in my opinion, it does actually work really well. It just looks really nice. It looks very early 2000s. I think you were seeing this style come back around nowadays. And yeah, I'm a fan actually. I don't think this definitely isn't goat, but it's definitely nice. Definitely is. The fact that I've called it noise is so funny. Right, 2003, and this is the beginning of the Nike era for Juve. And this isn't the best start for Nike. I don't know, this kit confuses me. I really don't understand. Like, when I kind of look at it, face value, I go, that's all right. I like that. But then when I dig a little bit deeper, I'm like, well, I don't like that bit, and I don't like that bit. Like, I'm not 100% sure why it cuts off at the bottom. I don't think I like that too much, to be honest. And then the collar, like, the curve and, like, the fact that I don't even know how to explain it, like the flap doesn't come all the way down. I don't know, it's weird. It just doesn't fully click. So strange, this one confuses me. No, I'll put it in meh. But in 2004, Total 90 comes in, and this template is just iconic. In football, like in general, works really well here for Juve. One thing I really like about this kit is that they've moved the 2 stars over to the right. So you've got the Nike on the left, stars on the right, centralized badge. It balances it out, you know? When you have a centralized badge and but then the Nike ticks over here on the left, it starts to look a bit funky for me. I need some sort of like symmetry for it to work. So this really smashes it here. The template obviously works, and the old retro Sky Sports logo looks pretty cool. This isn't like the most mental kit in the world. This isn't like for me like on my wish list, but I think it's definitely solid in it, so I'll throw it in solid. And then moving to 2005, to be honest, pretty similar to the last one, but just finished stripes. So again, I'll throw it in solid and not waste anyone's time. 2006, and this is pretty clean. This is a return to some sort of retro-y look with that polo collar coming into it. Again, finished stripes. I feel like when Juve has finished stripes and a polo collar, you kind of call it a little bit retro. And it's definitely clean. And they've moved the 2 stars out over to the sleeve as well, which is quite cool. Like, just a nice little touch on the sleeve to have those over there. I haven't mentioned it yet though, but that Tamor sponsored ruins, you know, a little bit. It's just a bit shit, isn't it? It's not the best. I think that on these kits will stop it going from any higher, but this is clean. Again, I think I'm going to go for a solid. It is tough when you're ranking home shirts because for the majority of the time, they keep it very traditional, very the same. And especially when you're talking about a team with stripes, like they can't do too much with it, so it is a little bit difficult. Obviously, further into this video, we'll talk about how these stripes start to change in the more modern era. But yeah, it's always hard to kind of fully pick out the differences between these kits. Right, 2007, and oh my God, what happened here? Why is the collar like doing that? You know what? It comes down so far down. Like why? But then it has like a thing to cover it, because obviously if you had it too far down, it'd just be chest hairs popping out. Just don't like it. And then the New Holland Fiat group, that's a rubbish sponsor. Sorry, if Fiat would be much cooler. The whole New Holland thing, no, it doesn't work. The bits of red here don't seem to work as well. To be honest, this is a bit rogue. But to me, it looks like a Baggies kit, looks like a West Brom kit. I know it's not the dark blue of West Brom, but like from a distance, it has that vibe, which isn't a good vibe. You don't want to, you don't want that. Yeah, this is going to go in awful for me. I'm really not a fan of this. And then in 2008, it's a very similar kit, but they've kind of threw in the yellow, like the traditional yellow, which works a bit more for Juve, in my opinion. But still, not much going for this kit. I'm going to throw this one in meh. All right, then move into 2009. And I mean, like, it's incredibly simple, but it just works. Again, it comes into that whole difficult conversation. But, you know, thin stripes, nice, clean cuffs. I can't fault it too much, but then I can't hype it up too much. I'm going to throw it solid. I think that works perfectly with that. 2010, and bless Juve, man. They've had some shit sponsors. BetClick, what is this? And not only is it a shit looking sponsor, but the fact that they've just gone, you know what I mean? They've just stuck it on the front of it. Like, come on, man. Have a bit of respect for Juve. Like, what is this? Yeah, and I mean, the kit itself, I mean, why is that collar so wide? It's so wide. It's ridiculous. I don't like it when collars go too crazy like that. Yeah, no, this is an awful kit. Goodbye. It just shows you how important sponsors are, man. Like, they are so make or break with kits. It's crazy. In 2011, they were trying to do something cool here. They were trying to mess with the stripes a little bit. They had this like lined spike outside, which kind of gives it a little gradient, which kind of from a distance looks a little bit blurry, but in a cool abstract way. They were doing something, they were playing a little bit here. But again, the sponsor's going to ruin it. So I think I won't put this one in awful because they were trying something new and different. But that sponsor makes it meh, definitely. But in 2012, Jeep come in and went, don't worry, lads, I'll sort this. No more BetClick, no more rubbish sponsors. We can move on from that for now anyway. But yeah, so this kit's cool. Again, I'm running out of words to say other than clean, smart, you know, those kind of words, but it's both of those. It's solid. And to stop wasting anyone's time, 2013, exactly the same. Throw it straight into solid. 2014, again, a really simple kit, but they had an all black polo collar to this one with a nice yellow Nike tick. I fuck with it. It's nice. Again, solid. In 2015, the Nike era comes to an end and Adidas arrive onto the scene for Juve. And obviously for the first kit, you always pretty much go safe. You don't want to fuck with the fans straight away. But they come out with a masterclass here. It's classic Juve. You know, the thin stripes of the Juve work really well. But that paired with Adidas's iconic stripes as well. It's a match made in heaven, isn't it? It works so well. This is such a clean kit. It's going straight into nice. A noise, should I say. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves with Adidas being a match made in heaven, because I think the definitive thing for Juve and Adidas's stretch is that they have tried to mess with the stripes a lot. They tried to do something different a lot. And sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. We'll get onto it. But in 2016, they went for this like thick stripes, but with pinstripes in the middle. And I don't like hate that. I think there's something in that as a vibe. But the execution here doesn't work. Like the white panel coming down the front, the fact that the Adidas stripes are underneath, which sometimes I do like in the kits at this time, but for this one, doesn't seem to work. I think it's all looking just a little bit off for me. I'm going to throw this one in meh. It's not awful by any means, but it's not great. In 2017, they went back to a more classic role. It's like kind of what they do. They go classic, weird, classic, weird. They just do this cycle, but they went back a bit more classic here. But this was the year of their anniversary, 120th anniversary. They did bring out a special kit, which I mentioned recently in a TikTok, and it's a beautiful kit, unbelievable. But I felt like the home shirt went for a retro vibe as well. They've got the button up, they've got the, you know, solid stripes here, nice cuffs. I think they went for a bit of a retro vibe, and this did really work in my opinion. But this was the first year that they changed their badge, and didn't go down well with the fans or the wider football community. This badge changed, so this kit for that reason didn't do too well. For me personally, it's a solid kit. I can't fault it too much. I'll throw it into solid, obviously. And I guess the same goes for 2018 as well. Ronaldo arrives in this one, which is obviously big news. And they went with just 2 thick black stripes on the front of the kit. Again, a little bit different, still keeping the stripes, but for the fact that the Jeep is in, you know, a black outline, it just looks like a huge H on the front of this kit. And when you see that, you can't unsee it. I'm sorry. So that throws it into meh for me. Okay, 2019 now, and this shirt I think did not land very well, but I think it's really cool. So it's not stripes. For the first time in Juve's history, This kit isn't striped. It's half and half. Now, I understand why that isn't good for Juve fans. Like, Juve fans are obviously not going to be a fan of that. But the reason was that if the squad stand together, they create the stripes stronger together, that whole vibe. Cheesy, yes. But cool, no? Like, really, I think that's really cool. They've got a meaning as to why they didn't just go, let's scrap the tradition, eh? They tried to do something new with that tradition. And I rated that. I really do. And I think the outcome of the kit looks really cool, like the half and half black and white, but also having a pink stripe down the middle to represent the old kits of Juve, the pink kits. Like, there's so much going on here that I can really, really like and really rate. It's just such a shame that, like, the overall opinion is so bad. But for me, this is a GOAT kit, man. I'm sorry. That might be rogue. People might disagree. Love it, though. But then they followed that with, like, probably the worst kit in Juve's history. Just an absolute car crash. 2020, man. I don't know, they went for an artsy thing, they went for an artsy inspiration, which I don't hate, but it just looks like tyre marks. It looks like this kit got run over by a really small car. Like, why? This did not land very well for me. The golden accents as well, just like add that weird cheapness to it. This is awful. This went straight down, in my opinion. In 2021, they messed with the stripes on a few occasions. Let's bring it back to classic. They went back for this. And actually, this was the 10th year anniversary of them playing at the Allianz. So in this kit, there's a few little nods to that, like the stars in it. And also on the neck, there's a nice thing in there. It's cool. Again, it's going back to tradition. The 4xe looks terrible, though. Really kind of downgrades this kit a little bit. And I'm not the biggest fan of the colour. So for me, it's a meh. But it was nearly there. And then in 2022, of course, they kept it simple last year. It's time to fuck about again. It's time to fuck about again with the stripes. This time they went with triangles. So each stripe was made up of loads of different little triangles. And you know, at the time, I hated this. At the time, I thought, what are they doing? That just doesn't work. But now I've sat on it. I'm looking at it and I rate it. And also I found out the meaning. The meaning is that it's actually, again, Allianz inspired, but you know, the kind of steel triangle structures that they've got all around the ground. That's what these triangles are inspired by. That's sick. That works. The only letdown in this kit now is the Jeep thing, because the Jeep's got lightning in it. That looks annoying and tacky. I hate that they did that. It wouldn't have been GOAT. It's high end of solid, low end of noise, I'd say. But I'll stick it in nice. And in 2023, last season, they had some madness. This kit is so there's just a lot to look at. You've got zebra stripes. Obviously, zebra is like Juve's mascot. So the stripes are zebra, which is kind of cool, but also kind of a bit weird. The Jeep is electric again, which just doesn't look good. And then there's just loads of yellow, which I really like. It's so bold. It's so punchy. It really it's a lot to look at, but in a good way. Your eyes are drawn to it. And I think that's a good thing. So this kit has a lot going for it. But the zebra-ness gets me. I don't like that. Yeah. You know, if it weren't for the punchy yellow and this kind of template that Adidas had, it'd be in meh. But I think that yellow in the template butts it up to a solid, which I'm happy with. And that brings us to this season's shirt, 2024. They just was right, back to basics once again. We'd fucked about for a bit. Let's bring it back. 2 bold stripes on the front, really clean. There's a moon pattern in the base, which is a little bit rogue, and they really haven't explained it that well. They're just yeah, going to the moon is sick. We did really well there. Well done. That's genuinely the reason behind it, which is so rogue. And they did that whole NASA collection as well. But it's clean, isn't it? You can't really fault this kit. It's nice. It's solid. It doesn't do too much to hate it. To be honest, I kind of want this kit. I mean, I've got the 3rd shirt there, which is just the best shirt of the season, probably. But yeah, I think it's not got enough to make it nice, but I'll definitely throw it in solid for sure. And that's it. That is my tier list. Let me know if you disagree or agree with me in the comments below. Where would you put everything? I'm losing my voice. I've been chatting for so long, but thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know also what other clubs you want to see in this series. Obviously, this can be an ongoing series now. We can look at every club ever and just keep going for the rest of the time. Yep.